Namaskar. Welcome to the English edition of PGurus channel on Monday and Ask Sumit series. And what we are going to talk today, we are going to talk about a lot of things. The first on the agenda is Modi's visit to France. What are the things? What do we expected to get out of it? Sree sir will be talking exclusively about what is the relevance of Marseilles. What are we doing in Marseilles? Then I have an update on IDF has resumed bombing of Lebanon. After that, we'll be talking of why is Europe next? What has gone wrong in Europe? After that, we are talking about, for the first time, we have seen biggest American spy planes over Mexican border. What are they doing? And why is China finally started crashing? These are all the things we are going to talk, and you can ask as many questions after that you want. Over to Mr. Sree Iyer from here.
Thank you so much. Please like this video. This is episode number 46 of Ask Sumit, where you will ask questions of Sumitji. We have a few topics that we want to touch upon because there is so much happening around the world. Geopolitics is the place to be today if you want to be in analysis, because there is so much to do. Starting with, what is the significance of the place called Marseille? See, remember, in French language, there is a small funny thing. If the word ends with a consonant, you don't pronounce it. For example, it is not Paris, it is Paris. Just like the Paris, butterfly. So, like that, Marseille, the LLES is not pronounced. Many things like that. Rendezvous, whereas we will say rendezvous. It's all that VOUS is not, it's just vous. And many other words. French is one of the most difficult languages to master. That's okay. What is the importance of this place called Marseille? Now, I want to draw your attention back to the time when it was British was ruling India and what happened at that time. Here we go. In 1910, 𝗤𝗏𝗍𝗏 Savarkar, a prominent Indian independence activist, escaped from British custody in Marseille, seeking asylum under French law. You know, there's a big story behind it. I'll give you the story a little bit later, maybe in a separate episode. I'm just giving you the big bullet points here. So he was caught in Marseille. And the problem was the British could pressure French into capturing him and bringing him back into custody. The thing was, it did not go down well with the French people. Remember, in 1910, France and Britain were not exactly friends. They've been fighting wars with each other for hundreds of years. And they had just finished fighting with Britain in Napoleonic era. So there was not that much friendship between France and Britain at that point of time. So the French people were really, really aghast. So much so that Jean Leguay, the grandson of Karl Marx, by the way, Karl Marx is German, but his grandson settled in France. These things happen very common, okay? Europe is a big entity. It is like India. Borders don't really make much of a difference. They keep speaking different languages and so on and so forth. So even he was defending Savarkar's right to asylum. So then what happened? The French government protested British's actions at the Hague Tribunal. So it didn't stop there. Even then, there was a tribunal in The Hague where you could argue your case. The problem was that the British manipulated the legal process and allegedly bribed the judges to ensure that Savarkar would be convicted. And Savarkar was sentenced to 2 life sentences in the Andaman Cellular Jail, a symbol of colonial oppression. So that is the importance of this city. In fact, the other thing is, Marseille is a reflection of the working class society of France. It is seen as one of those socialist bastions where, the trade unions thrived and many of the other things that makes France what it is today. It's a representation of that. So what did Prime Minister do in the previous visit? I think it was the previous visit. He inaugurated an Indian embassy in Marseille, and I think this, and also the fact that they are meeting there, is to bring us back memories of Veer Savarkar, 𝗤𝗏𝗍𝗏 𝗤𝗏𝗍𝗏. And without saying it in so many words, Prime Minister has chosen this place. It's a very, very good idea. I thought we should, and our viewers should, know about the importance of this place. And there is another story also. There was another patriot of India who also tried to help Savarkar there. Unfortunately, it didn't pan out the way they expected, but be that as it may, these are all old times. We should remember the sacrifices they made for us. Over to you, Sumit-ji. Let's go to the second topic.
Sure. Sir, in the name of Bhagwan Sri Ganesha, let's start the topic. Now, the first thing is, what is Modiji doing in France? What are the things we are going to achieve end of this visit? We know Modiji is already in France. What are we going to get out of that visit? What is the Modi's visit to France going to do? 3-day visit. I'll sum up quickly for you. 3 days visit. We are expecting at least $10 to $20 billion of deals will be signed in this visit. Now, what is on the agenda? There are a lot of things on the agenda. First of all, there is going to be an AI summit in which Modiji will be the co-chair along with President Macron. Modiji was one of the first leaders to say yes to the summit, and America will be represented by JD Vance, and we'll have, even after Americans and Indians have come there, suddenly Chinese vice president has said he is also interested to come there. So he doesn't want to be left out of the game, and we are going to discuss about AI, how to make it more friendly, and what are the challenges of the AI, and what is the AI going to help the humanity all about. So a big global AI summit in France where Modiji will be chairing with along President Macron. That's number one. Second thing is, Sree sir already talked on marshalling. What are the importance? What are the relevance? Consulate there is, of course, one of the things. And also, I think in the same state, there is this cemetery where the World War II soldiers which fought there, they have their remembrances there. So I think Prime Minister will be also visiting there. That is on the historical side. Now coming to what is the defense and economy and all going to think. There are a lot of things which you are thinking of inking with France this time. One is this Rafale maritime deal. The Rafale planes which will be put on the aircraft carriers, because today we are running with MiG-29s. MiG-29s are a bit not up to the mark. They are a slightly older technology. Now Rafale M, which will be the Rafale maritime version, they were talking of these planes, and the deal is likely to be signed there because a lot of negotiations have been going on there. Second thing we are looking to from France is to sign a deal for SRMs. They are SMRs. They are SRMs are small modular reactors. These are very modular. They are plug and play. You can put them, and within 8 to 12 months it can come up. It comes in modules, and you can start producing the nuclear power. Now, let me tell you here, France is the only country in the world which produces around 22 to 25% of its power from the nuclear energy, which is highest in the world. And France has mastered this technology. But these SRMs can be a game changer, because when you have a lot of SRMs, you can literally pick up a bigger city and power it with a reactor. So you don't have to put a full 𝗘𝗏𝗏 or a 𝗘𝗘𝗙𝗏, or, for example, or a Narura power station. You don't have to put that. You can put these SRMs and you can literally power those cities. That is on the agenda, what we are looking forward from France. After that, Safran, the 5th generation engine. Safran and one more company are shortlisted. Now, Safran has a facility here. All the Rafales, by the way, come with a Safran engine. They have a facility in Bangalore. I think they have 17 offices here, and they employ around 4,500 people. So they are very much interested to get us this engine sorted out for our 5th generation aircrafts and moving higher for the higher version. So that is something which is going to be finalized, possibly. That is what I'm hoping. Another thing on the agenda is this Scorpion class electric submarines. That deal is on the table. So in all probability, that deal will be signed in this visit, because India needs a lot of submarines, and the French submarines are doing a pretty good job. After that, we are also talking up to France about your access to the nuclear suppliers group, how France can help us to get away, and how the seamless fuel energy, because we still have challenges with energy, how the nuclear fuel can keep on coming to the India. Another thing which I've heard is on the agenda is that we are looking for those small reactors which can power the aircraft carriers. So basically, our aircraft carriers are still powered by conventional energy, maybe diesel and others. But if you have a nuclear powered aircraft carrier, the endurance of the aircraft carrier is quite high. That is what we are looking for France. Then after that, besides the cultural exchange and all, we have around 10,000 Indian students which are studying in France this time. The number is expected to go to 30,000. How that be worked out and what all could be done there, that is a part of the agenda. And I think in this visit, you have to really see, I don't think Prime Minister is meeting the diaspora. As far as I know, maybe there's a change in the plan. So it's going to be a complete, agenda-based visit. And Here, you will also have a round table with the CEOs. All the top French CEOs for the French companies will be coming and meeting the Prime Minister, and we'll be exploring how we are going to work together on the various initiatives and various business opportunities. Now, this is broadly what I can kind of get on the top of my head. And there is one more surprise, which I can't talk right now, which will be announced in 3 days from now. So you will see a big surprise coming from Modi's visit to France. I can only give you a hint. It is vis-a-vis national security. So what is that surprise, and what is that the thing which we are going to get from France? We'll announce in due course of time. So today there's some talk in the air, but we can't be speculating and we can't be talking because it's a national security issue. But you can expect one big surprise during this visit of Prime Minister Modi to France. So these are the things which are on the agenda, from social, political, economic, defense, AI, pretty much on the agenda, pretty much. And so I'm not kidding, around $20 billion of deals will be signed. $10 to $20 billion is a big amount of money. And French are really looking forward to this, because looking at the plight of their economy and all, $20-30 billion is a lot of money for them. And of course, and goes beyond without saying, there's one more side of it which I want to bring to your notice, is that India's domestic airline market is growing at a CAGR of 22-23%, which is highest in the world, and we will need a few thousand planes more. Macron knows India because EADS, it's a joint venture between England, France, and Germany, I believe, and the biggest factories is in Toulouse, where 380 is produced. Now they are looking forward to look into that big market, and Airbus has been quite a player of our choice. So with these few thousand planes going to India, that's a big deal. And after that, there's another thing which I'm going to talk to you, is the biggest facility of Rafale after France is going to open in India. And third, it's not only for India, which our Rafales are sold or will be sold in future in Asia or in around this region, minus Europe. They'll be all serviced from India. And with it, there's one more thing which is on the agenda that will set the role for something called as a MRO. Maintenance, repair, and overhaul, or operations, whatever you want to call it. This is a big business. It's a multi-hundred billion dollar business. Today, a lot of MROs happen in Singapore. Now, with this Rafale MRO and the maintenance facility coming in, so there's a talk that now the Rafale MRO will anyway shift to India, but this will lead to us getting into this MRO business for the aircraft as well. Then after that, when Prime Minister Modi is in America, because after this he'll be going to America, when we are talking of F-16 Viper, we are talking about F-22 or F-35. We'll see what more can we negotiate with Americans. Maybe Rafale gives us something which is too good and too tempting. Then when we go and talk to the Americans, say, look, this is something we have from Rafale. What do you bring to the table? So a lot of things are going to come up. I've given you some hint, but let's see. So these are the things on the agenda. What is Prime Minister Modi doing in France for 3 days? I think I've given you a summary. I'm handing it over to Mr. Iyer. Sir.
This is just a very brief interlude. Thank you so much, Sumiji. I just wanted to tell our viewers, 3 words that really helped me establish a good rapport when I was in France. I don't know much French, but someone told me just use these 3 words and you'll get a lot of success. So the first thing that I did, wherever I had to go on, like a shop, for example, right?
Yes.
You want to ask. So what I would say is, vous parlez anglais. What that means is, do you speak English? And if they said yes, of course, or something like that, then you know that you can speak to them in English. But if they said non, which is no, then they found a way to communicate. They would, it was so friendly because I took the effort to speak to them in their language. Those 3 words used to make a huge difference in terms of breaking the barrier. So viewers, many Indians are going to be going to France. I see this as a very good cooperative agreements that's going to be coming. So please do that little extra effort to learn and speak the French language. It's a beautiful language. It's not the easiest one, but if you put in the effort, you will get the results. And I just wanted to share my experiences. Over to you again.
Again, sir, my experience has been similar. I learned the first thing is merci. That's thank you.
Yeah. Merci is thank you. Yeah. Merci beaucoup also. Yeah.
Yeah,
thank you very much.
Yeah. And that used to really kind of help me going into the France. And there are a lot of things, but we can do episodes separately. All my experiences in France, because I used to go almost every 5-6 months there. EADS was my customer I used to handle, so I used that. Took me to France quite often, and to the southern France and then Spain and pretty much everywhere. But that's not important today. So let's come to the topic. So these are all the things. What is going to happen in a 3-day visit of Prime Minister Modi to France? A big deal, and a lot of things are going to work out for us. And now from France, we move to the, Mr. Iyer has already explained why Marseilles, and what are the importance, what are the relevance, and how is it connected to what is it?
Savarkar.
Savarkar-ji. How is it connected to Savarkar-ji? This all is done. Now let's move from here. Let's move to Middle East. Now the unfortunate news, I don't know how to put it, is that IDF has resumed bombing of Lebanon. IDF has done bombing in the 𝗥𝗘𝗙𝗏 Valley. 𝗥𝗘𝗙 Valley is the territory which is the north of Litani River. Now IDF has also told Lebanon, like, your army is not coming in. You are not trying to take control. So what we have to do, we have to kind of go and do our part. Now Israel has already rejected that. There was an agreement that within 60 days Israel will leave Lebanon. So that is not happening. IDF has said we are not doing it. And 𝗥𝗘𝗙 Valley, when you were asked what are the why this is happening, IDF is very clear, telling you, look, we have reasons to believe that Hezbollah was regrouping, and there were tunnels coming from Syria into Lebanon. They were trying to rebuild them. They were trying to kind of reopen them. And once we came about that, we went and we bombed those tunnels. Obviously, the Americans are not happy because this is like starting the war again. But the Israelis said, look, this is a part of the deal. We had this deal. If whenever Israel feels that its sovereignty is being threatened, or there's something wrong with it, it will have the right to go and bombard again. So bombing has started. How many are killed? I think 8 are killed and at least 20 are wounded. And the numbers are counting. And it is not only in 𝗥𝗘𝗙 Valley. So around the suburbs of, in some other suburbs of Lebanon as well, the bombing of IDF has started. Now the unfortunate news is that the Lebanese army has not taken control. Okay, here Sree sir is showing his 𝗥𝗘𝗙 Valley, the one in the red. Now, unfortunate part is that Lebanese army has not taken control. Israel has expressed its resentment and not happy. This is the 𝗥𝗘𝗙 Valley here. As resentment and not happy, why Lebanese is not able to take control. And with it, there's one more piece of news. I said from here the tunnels go to Syria. There's another unfortunate piece of news wherein IDF says that we have credible intel now that Hezbollah has started again functioning some, those Katyusha missile rocket manufacturing or whatever they have done. And we have gone and destroyed their ammunition dumps again. So with all the beating or bashing happening of Hezbollah and all the truce and everything, Hezbollah is trying to get the tunnels activated. Hezbollah is regrouping. Hezbollah is trying to get its arms and ammunition dumps reactivated. And IDF has gone and bombarded those ammunition dumps, bombarded those things. And when they were asked, why did it do so? I said, look, we have a right within the agreement. If we feel there is something which is an imminent threat to Israel, we'll have the right to go and dismantle that. That is exactly what we have done. We have dismantled those sites. So, Sree sir, what we are thinking that the truce will be steady and it's not going to happen. I was always a prince with this truce is not going to hold on. Now the IDF is back into action, and IDF says we will hold the right to do whatever is in the interest of Israel and to protect the citizens of Israel. So I think the Lebanon scene is more erupting, and unfortunately UN peacekeepers said the Lebanese army is not coming to the task. And Israel cannot take a chance letting Hezbollah regroup again and occupy again. So let's see how it happens. So basically, not a positive signs. Rafael Amaro Bharat will be catering to the large number of Middle East, Southeast, South, and also. Yes, that is what I have been talking about. It will be the biggest MRO minus basically everything non-Europe will be done from India. And this will also start another thing that we will enter the MRO business in big time. Today it is controlled by Singapore, and even the transshipment ports are controlled by Singapore. We are coming with our transshipment ports in Kerala, and this MRO business will open a few $100 billion of opportunity for us, and we can do it at a much better and a cheaper price than what Singapore can do. We are much better equipped to handle this business than Singapore in any way. And you just need to have the ball rolling. That is what is going to happen. And by the way, UAE and a lot of other countries have Rafales. So all those have Rafales for service and all are going to come to India. And from India, we're going to do whatever we need to do, and they are going to go back. And this one big time military announcement, which is going to be expected. But I hold my horses, wait for 3 days when it will come. But I have already given you a hint, it is coming. That is not part of what I have discussed, so we'll not talk about it right now. That is what the IDF is doing. Now there's one more development which has happened in the Middle East. The development in the Middle East is that, look, there are 3 players today. There is Iran, there is US, and there is Israel. Now, Tayyip Erdogan has jumped into the fray. Tayyip Erdogan says that this 2-state solution is the only solution. Trump taking over Gaza will not work. We will not settle for any occupation of Gaza. Gaza has to be Gazans. And Trump believes that this is not going to work. We are going to take over Gaza and turn it into something else. That is what the Trump says. It's a kind of a bold decision. But what Tayyip Erdogan does not agree with it, Qatar does not agree with it. That is on the backdrop. The Israelis are all for it. You please take over Gaza. We have no problems because it will add to the economic wealth and prosperity of Israel if it develops into something reasonably good. I will not say it will become a Dubai, but if even it develops into something reasonably good, Israel will not have a problem. But the challenge here is Iran has started having problems. Iran has given 3 statements. The first statement is from the Ministry of External Affairs spokesperson. You know, as Iran has been in a 2-way talks. One, it talks to Europe and then it talks to America. Now, they are saying that when Israel is talking to Europe, right, it says that we will only talk when you are talking to us with dignity, respect, and practical things. If you are not doing that, we are not going to talk to you. Right? Now, it is believed that the European Union, then the people in Europe, then ultimately talk to America. Now, on the contrary, Trump says that if something happens to me, you have to decimate Iran. Right? If they try to do an assassination attempt on me. While as Trump says, I am interested to talk of a peace deal, but I must have all the access to the nuclear assets of Iran. And I must have 101% transparency, which Parkazin says, we don't have a bomb, we are not building anything, you can come and check any day. Well, Khomeini is one of the buddies said a couple of weeks back, we are 48 hours from building a nuclear bomb, which is true to some extent. Now, a lot of conflicting things coming from this. Now, suddenly, Khomeini has woken up and said, no, string on the table is not going to solve any problem. So it's a U-turn. So what Parkazin said, what we covered in the last episode, that, you know, you can come and you can visit. He says string on the table is no solution. Iran is not weak. Iran is not going to buckle down. And if somebody in the West thinks Iran is going to buckle down, you're wrong. Iran will fight to the last man. And he says we are not going to take Western hegemony. So in a way, inspections are out of the place. Now these UN inspectors going are rather kind of out of the place. And Khomeini is not willing to talk on command table. That is the take of Khomeini. And he has warned West. He has warned Europe especially, look, if you want to play the stooges of West, you are going to face the brunt of it. So that means today, Iran is literally threatening Europe with consequences. The Europe, which is basically Germany, England, and France, which have been trying to help them and trying to reach some kind of a solution with the United States of America, now they are threatened by Khomeini that you don't respect us, you don't treat us fairly, and if you continue to do this, you're going to face the brunt of it. So there is a new problem in Europe after the Trump's tariff wars and a lot of things they are trying to do that. Now they have problems started coming from Europe as well. So this is a new change of dynamics of Iran. Now, so Iran first has warned the Middle East. I'll get whole Middle East into the broth, right? And I'll start a World War III. Now after that, it has today warned Europe also. So Iran is talking, I will hit here, I'll hit here. It's not about Israel only. I'll get whole Europe into the picture and I am going to hit whole of Middle East into the picture. So if you touch me, you don't listen to me, that is what is going to happen. Regarding talking, I don't believe anything will be settled in table, so I'm not interested in a talk. That is what Khomeini says. And Parkazin says, in Islam, you cannot have a bomb, but Khomeini's right-hand gun says, we are 48 hours from making a bomb. Trump says, I won't have a nuclear, I won't have a deal with you with 100% transparency. Khomeini says, I'm not interested in any transparency. Trump says, if anything happens to me and I'm assassinated by Iran, wipe out Iran from the world's map. That's an order given. While in Iran says, I'll put bombs, I'll kind of get whole of the Middle East burning. Now he's saying, I will even get the Europe burning. Now you want to mess with me, I'll get both of these continents of both of these pieces of land into fuels. So Iran is really playing the hardball, and there is no communication, there is no direction between Abachi, Pakazin, and Khomeini. Ultimately, what Khomeini says, that is the word, and that is what is going to last. And it is also believed that the Islamic Revolutionary Guard is doing a big, massive exercise of thinking of if there's a situation wherein they have to manage their fronts with Europe, and they have to manage the fronts on this side of the world with Americans or the Middle Eastern countries. How are they going to do it? Can Iran handle it or not? That's a different issue. There's not even 1% chance they can handle it, but the war will result into a lot of death and destruction. That is the unfortunate part of it. So the point I'm trying to make by these two things, Middle East is again erupting. It is again becoming volatile. And this time, Europe is facing a double whammy. One is Trump's tariffs, and second is threats from Khomeini. So welcome to the party Europe is having for a very gala time. After that, we have to move to the second part. What are US spy planes? Now, for the first time, there has been seen a big change in the US-Mexico border. Now, US has some ace spy planes, these Poseidons, what we call as P-8As. Now, you have U-32s, you have RC-32s. These are the best spy planes which America has. Like this Poseidon 8A can even hunt submarines down the water. U-32 is a plane which flies high. If it is on American border, it can intercept all the signals, all the communication of Mexican cartels deep into Mexico. R-32 imagery, and that can really get deep into those underground tunnels and understand what are the formations and all that. Now, traditionally, all these planes had been used by America in Ukraine and in the wars which it was trying to fight or just trying to meddle into the whole world. Now, what has happened? There was a protocol. America will move one of such planes once in a year around the Mexican border, and they'll just give a report. Sab theek hai, all is okay. Now, after Trump has taken over office, it was 20th January, we're sitting on 10th February. In last 20 days, 18 such reconnaissance flights have happened. RC-32s, U-2s, and P-8As, they have been used. Now, the idea is what was done in 18 years under Biden is done in 20 days under Trump, more than that. This work would have taken Biden 18 years to do, or 20 years to do, 18 years, because once a plane a year. In 20 days, Trump has done what Biden could have done in 18 years. Now, what is the objective of this? What is this? Everybody is worried. What are they doing? I think Americans are planning a big crackdown on Mexican drug cartels. They've been already declared as terrorists. And now, what are the three possible options? What are Americans contemplating, and what does America want to do? The first thing is that they are looking at these areas and finding where are the loopholes, what has gone wrong. Second, U-2s are very good at intercepting signals and communications, which are even in the Mexican side of the cartels. They are kind of intercepting them and really feeling what the cartels are planning, where the things are, how they are going. P-8As and all, they are very good at locating those tunnels and those, those underground things and things like that, what they are going to do. And then, I think either this is happening or one thing more is happening, wherein US is preparing a hit list. Hit list is about the people within America who are helping them around the border area, and people even on the American-Mexican border, and people even within Mexico who can be hit. Now, Trump recently ordered a hit on Islamic State in Somalia, just 3-4 days back. So now, will we see American planes entering Mexican territory and doing the bombing? Will we have American SEALs and Delta forces going around those Pablo Escobars of the Mexico? Will we see a complete crackdown on their transport system, on their goods system, on their storage system, and on their opium and those drug manufacturing factories? So this is something which is big, and the American media is talking about it, that if this is happening, something very big is planned. Because putting so many planes, pulling them from the active war zones and putting them on reconnaissance means that something big is planned by Trump on the Mexican border. It is not usual surveillance, or what we call in Hindi 𝗥𝗘𝗙𝗪 𝗔𝗓𝗓. It is much more than that. So what is the plan of Trump? Is it an aerial attack on Mexico? Is it that sending Apaches and Chinooks or sending drones to destroy those terror infrastructure or those drug cartels infrastructure within Mexico? That is something to be seen. Will Trump cross the American borders and hit Mexico where it means? Possibly yes, because all this kind of effort will be done to identify those high-profile targets and those high-profile issues which need to be immediately dismantled. So if we see some action happening across the Mexican border and on the Mexican, American border, don't be surprised. By the way, there's nothing called Gulf of Mexico. It's renamed as the Gulf of America. I think yesterday Trump named it as Gulf of America. 9th February is the Gulf of America Day. So there's nothing called the Gulf of Mexico. That is why that illegal this crackdown of illegals is happening. By the way, these planes can also help locate illegals. These planes can also help locate new fentanyl entering routes into America. So Trump is really walking the talk, and Trump is really getting tough on the Mexican border. That is what we had to report to you here. So if we can expect some fiery action work soon. After that, China crashing. This is a very important topic. What are we talking about? Yesterday, I told you on our PGurus, she said is showing us something. Yeah.
Let me explain to you. This is the, just give me 1 second. I need to fix something. 1 second. All right. You can see my face now? Yeah. So these are all the different routes that the US pipelines are taking to essentially map out what is happening in the cartels. Now, the line you see is the boundary between US and Mexico. And then you can see all the dark blue lines. These are all the things where everything is coming from below into United States. So they are essentially looking at the entire border as well as some other areas within. Like, for example, let me show you. I hope you can see my mouse here. See the thing. See this area is well within US. This is where most of the storage appears to have been planned. And the same way to the left, near LA area. Okay. So that is also, these are all the things that are being planned. And actually I'm going to go a little bit more. Now you can see this is LA area. I'm showing you see how much there is. And look at the offshore. They are storing things offshore. Sumiji, the white color is the ocean.
Yeah.
White color is the ocean. and that is, they are storing a lot of stuff there.
Correct. That's why, sir, 18 flights in 20 days. There was one flight a year. It is Zoom. Bees in my 18 flight. He has pulled everything from, that's what Trump said. I'm not going to waste the natural resources fighting those imaginary wars out of America because I have a lot of challenges within the America. So the good news is we can expect some big time action there, because what the people are blaming, this is not normal surveillance. This is preparing for war. This is what the full-fledged war.
Absolutely. Yeah. So now let's move on to China. We have 33 minutes into the program, 5 minutes, and then we'll take a lot of questions there. Many questions also. So please go ahead. Yeah.
Sure. China. Yesterday I've been talking about, because we did it in Hindi for the sake of the people who are not very affluent with Hindi. Look, what did the 10% tariff on China mean? 10% tariff on China means, you have to see the episode fully so that you can understand, but we'll summarize it for you here. It means that it might look just how will the 10% number matter? Yeah? 10% on tariff means 100 million Chinese jobs. And if Europe and all follow suit, that means you will have China kind of pay, and this 100 million, 10 million, 100 million Chinese jobs. And if Europe also ships in, China will have 150 million jobs lost. 15 crore naukriyan gayi. That is what the impact of the 10% thing is. So China is crumbling under the economic, really under economies which is failing. And two things I told you. That is why the toys had been the focus on Nirmala Ji's budget. Why there was focus on toys? Because toys exports to America is only $66 billion. And if I combine Europe and other countries, it's around $200 billion. So that is why toys had become an important budgetary pitch for Nirmala Sitharaman ji. And let me also take you to the budget of Nirmala Sitharaman ji, where she said, nuclear energy pe paisa lagaya. Would have put a lot of money on the nuclear energy and small modular reactors. And that is exactly what Modiji is going to do in France. Small modular reactors. So it's all linked. I'm just trying to draw your inferences. Now China's economy is crumbling, the things are bad. There's a data out. The data says, as compared to last year, when you look at this year, from 23 to 24, only 6.3 million marriages have happened in China. 6.3. In 2013, it was around 13 million marriages. So from 2013 to 2024, it has dropped more than 55-60%. This is what I have been claiming all along. Now the proof is validated as major media outlets have given us the number and confirmed it. Not only that, people are not marrying. The median age is going up. China is really in the third year in a row. Its population is crumbling. It will have a lot of old people to feed. The median age of Chinese population is rising. And there's one more cherry on the cake. The divorce rate of China, which was around 23% when I last looked at it. Now I'm very happy to inform you, the divorce rate of China is up. It has come to almost around 45%. It has crossed America. America and Russia around 43, 45. You have more divorces in China than America and Russia. And the number of children producing babies is all-time low. China has now, if my guesswork is right, they have not released a number, the birth rate will be around 1 to 1.05%. Maybe 1.1. It has even decreased further. So if you look at China, it is crumbling under its under its weight. And even if this plight continues, for a nation of 1.45 crore people, 6.2 million marriages is nothing. It's literally nothing. And then the number of children producing babies is nothing. So Chinese government gives you money for dating. Chinese government gives you incentive for having babies and marrying. And they have also introduced a ministry of love. Yeah, a ministry of love is to encourage younger people to date and mate. Even after that, it is not working out. So China is not crashing only on the political front, not on the economic front, but on the social front as well. So the crash of China, economic, social, and political, it's a triangle which is crumbling under its own weights. So for the first time, world is realizing that the China's dream or the China has already peaked. The communist China has already peaked. I can tell you today, with all the conviction at my command, China will not go beyond this. Whatever it had to do, wherever it had to reach, real or fake or whatever it has already reached, it is now going to deteriorate. So that is good news for the world, because more and more they deteriorate. It's not only politically, economically, and socially, the world will be a better and a peaceful place. I'll end my thoughts here.
Thank you so much. And now let's take a few questions with your permission, sir.
Sure, sir.
And thank you, 𝗪𝗛𝗐, for your super sticker. 𝗟𝗡𝗞 wants to know, why did Trump remove Biden's security clearance and what is the impact?
Not only Biden's, Jack Sullivan's and Anthony Blinken's also.
Blinken's also is taken out. Yeah, right.
Blinken and Jack Sullivan was first before Biden. Because, when you have security clearance, you can access a lot of files, you can go to a lot of places, you can talk to a lot of people. When your security clearance is revoked, you are not eligible to talk to a lot of people, you cannot have access to a lot of records, you cannot enter a lot of areas. So that curtails your influence. Secondly, politically speaking, it's a message that these are not people not to be trusted. These are the people who cannot be trusted with American interests. It's as clear and as simple as that.
Absolutely right. Subramaniam Vishwanathan wants to know, Sumitji, Hamas seems to be landing in Baloch because of push from Gaza by Trump. New headache for India?
Hamas was in POJK, which we conferred. I am not aware of Baloch, but they were in POJK. And there's an access which is being built by, and I told you also, this Dr. Khalid Makhum was the guy who heads this Hamas operations in Iran. And he was the guy who got hero's reception in POK and, in that stadium, and there were SUVs and people on the horsebacks and bikes. So Hamas is trying to have their inroads up to the J&K border, and I believe Iran is letting it happen. I have no doubt in admitting that.
Next question from 𝗟𝗡𝗏. Sreeji, for your information, today's notification came up just 3 minutes before live. Thank you so much. In fact, we gave out the indication that we were starting with like 10 minutes left. before we started. We usually do it a little bit earlier than that. Today was a tight schedule, and we had a lot of things to cover. So we thought instead of starting at 9, let us start at 8:30, and that's why we got some things a little bit out of shape. But no worries, as long as you keep liking this video, it will go far, because nobody in India has thought about the Marseille connection like we did. And I must thank my good friend Kumar Bala from UK, who put up the entire data and gave it to me like on a platter. And thank you so much, Kumar. You've been a great part of the success of PGurus. Let's get on to the next question now. 𝗠𝗎, everybody is asking me questions today. Your program is Ask Sumit Bhaiya. Just kidding. Hans wants to know, what do you think about Hamas leaders meeting with jihadis in POK and YUNUS in Bangladesh? Over to you. You know this thing very well.
I think you see, Hamas meeting POK is a sign that Iran has given them access. Is a sign that Iran has kind of, we used to think Iran is a buffer. It may not be there. This Chabahar port has sanctions now. It's just out of that free trade zone or no sanction port. And in Yunus, of course, Yunus is again mini Pakistan. Hamas and all. Haven't I been warning that you will soon have this Middle East brand of terror landing in Bangladesh? I've been literally saying this terror will be different from Pakistan Punjabi terror. This will be Middle Eastern brand of terror. Not only Hamas, Hizbul Tahrir, Islamic Jihad, all, because when the route is established on PGurus channel, I think around a month back, sir, or 20 days back, we talked about this possibility happening, a route being carved from Syria or from Egypt directly.
Yeah, we talked about this. Yes,
we talked about this. This is now all coming true, and we warned the authorities around 3 weeks back. We saw some initial signs, and we warned them that there's a trouble which is brewing. And now what we have been saying has come true only. I think we should be able to handle the challenge, but it's not a welcome development.
Thank you so much. Next question from Magnet Ranga. Namaskar. With deep state out, will it be easier for Modiji government to bring in new laws more easily and probably even bring back the farm laws?
You see, deep state out helps. Deep state is so deep, you don't know how deep it is. That is point number 2. Third thing is that even if you talk of bringing farm laws, there will be still political considerations. It's not an absolute majority for Prime Minister Modi. It's the majority for NDA, wherein Chandrababu Naidu and Nitish Babu will have some ambitions and some inhibitions, both. So you have to manage between the ambitions and inhibitions and see what best can be done. But after the victory in Delhi, the message is clear. Even Mission Impossible is possible, wherein Kejriwal used to say, "Hum to Delhi ke Badshah hai." So when Badshah can be dismantled, anything can happen.
Next question from Luke Bloke. When will the US give the F-114 engines we already paid for?
I think this will happen once Modiji meets Trump, because Saffron is already on the...
That's the only way you can put pressure, of course. Yeah.
That's why he's going to France first. See, and Modi is going to France and then US. Trump is meeting first Modiji, then talking to China. It's all linked.
It is a pressure tactic. All right. I mean, I agree. I mean, this is all straight talk is needed. And I think Modi and Trump will get along well. Both are businessmen at heart. And I think I have this, I want this, I have this, I want this. And let's shake our hands on this. And 4 years is there. Trump is going to be around. India needs to go on the next gear. In fact, I would say we have to up by 2 gears. See what's going to happen. Yamuna front, they're going to have a river front there. First of all, you need to regularize or get rid of a lot of the illegal constructions. How will you get rid of illegal construction? First, you need to get rid of the illegals. Do you have a plan for that? In my opinion, I've been saying this for 2-3 years now. You have to run a night train every night leaving New Delhi. The train doesn't stop anywhere, all the way to the border. So you don't have place, Bangladesh won't accept, and you first create the space. How do you create the space? Get into Rajshahi Rangpura.
Kabza kar lo.
We put them there. That becomes a union territory. No election, no bullshit. Anybody makes any trouble, any Muslim, it doesn't matter who. Okay, it could be in Timbuktu, it could be in Kerala also. Take them from there, put them in the union territory where you'll have extra surveillance, extra hospitality also. You have to do these things. You see, Suiji, you know as well as I do. Remember that day we went to Lajpat Nagar?
Yeah.
Every house, I'll tell you, I kid you not, okay? Every house, the ground floor is the XYZ, that the square is smaller than the floor built on top. In other words, you are building houses like this.
Yeah.
And at some level you can cross from one house to the other, balcony to balcony. You don't need to go down and cross. It's that bad. Everybody is illegally constructed and expanded.
And and there are a lot of areas wherein a lot of such people are living, and thanks to the 𝗣𝗍𝗿 party, they were getting a lot of political patronage, sir. Now 𝗣𝗍𝗿 party is gone, so I think the thing should be much easier now.
Yeah. So the path is clear. First, create space, then start putting people in that space, and then you have land to work with. Clean up Delhi. Delhi should be the shan of India. Make that place like that, beautiful city, and that itself will impress the heck out of people. And I'm hearing a lot of good things in the works. Let's wait and see how this goes, because this would be the sequence in which I would do it. But then I'm not the Prime Minister, and I know Prime Minister knows best. But this makes sense. In other words, you guys can feel free to comment on why I'm saying all these things, because I'm telling you, this Tiruppuram Kundram in Madurai, Sarji, every day 20,000 plus people are protesting. They want that dargah down from the temple. See, temple is halfway up the hill, okay? Then there is a Shiva temple a little bit above that. This dargah has been built over that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. What a shame. This is
and they want the whole thing. They claim the entire thing is theirs. Then they go and eat, meat and lamb and beef and whatever there. And this is even an MP, elected MP, Nawaz Khani.
And even if you must have read, she said that in AMU, a legal Muslim university, suddenly on the menu, a beef biryani has cropped up.
Anyway, that crackdown will also happen soon. Bhaskar Verma wants to know, Namaskar, Lebanon and Syria have clashes. What is this place of violence?
This place of violence is where Israel, it's not about Lebanon and Syria cases. This is where IDF has said that a lot of things have started coming up again of Hezbollah. And they're doing these actions unilaterally to protect their interests vis-a-vis Hezbollah. So that means the Lebanese army is not able to do, and the things have started, this is how things start again. Before this, IDF was not going and hitting Lebanon for last 20, 25 days. We didn't hear this. Now they said we'll keep on hitting if we think there's a threat. So basically the ceasefire is literally slipping with every passing day.
Next one from Magnet Ranga. Namaskar. Will Bharat get all the info on those funded by USAID that could help Bharat to investigate in depth?
If I'm very sure if Bharat asks, they can get it. 100% they can get it.
Sarji, when it was Mr. Jaitley who was the finance minister in 2014, Obama was in power. His secretary of treasury, I don't remember his name, he had made it available free of cost. 2014, they had all the data of where the money had moved, not just inside US, in the entire world, all the tax haven community. Jaitley didn't want to take it. I'm telling you, BJP had some real Jaichans inside.
No, I think when it comes to Nirmala ji, it's that part is unthinkable, thankfully.
Well, but the thing is, now they're not offering it. At the time, see, these are all things you don't have the way they explained it also was very nice. They said, look, you don't have the computing power or the software to get all this data. We will make it available to you. Come, ask us, we will give it to you. India didn't want to do it. See, I'm not a BJP person, okay? My loyalty is to my Janma Bhumi, which is Bharat. It doesn't matter who did or who didn't do what. If you do the right thing, I will commend you for it. If you don't do the right thing, I'll tell you why you're doing wrong and how to fix it. That's all I can say. Suminji, this is just my personal opinion. I'm not saying that you have the same opinions as I do. This is my personal opinion. My gratefulness of making who I am is because of where I was born and the sanskar that I learned growing up. Maithiliji wants to know, Sumitji, Trump's administration is a lot like Modi's administration. Your view, sir?
Yeah, quite similar, and they are the people who can take hard decisions, patriotic, nationalistic, nation first. That is something very common, and these people can think out of the box and take some really tough decisions.
Nirav, thank you so much. Don't understand, if they like ISLAM that much there, then why come to non-Islamic country? Go to Afghanistan and enjoy Sharia there.
That is the problem. They know nobody will take them there. They know nobody likes them there. They know they can use, the gratefulness of non-Islamic countries and exploit it. That is what it is beautifully done. That is what has been traditionally beautifully done. Use all your tools, use your liberty, use your everything which you stand for against you, and capitalize on that. That is what have been they doing. And in Islamic countries, you're nobody. Here you can talk of Islamophobia and keep on getting the government benefits for free of cost. And still, as I told you, you can have a credit card. 𝗟𝗍 can have a debit card, but they always have one victim card. Then play the victim card. Get away with it. Arey maar diya, Allah, maar diya. And that is what they have been doing. So why? So this victim card doesn't work in an Islamic country, na? That their most powerful hukum ka ikka is the victim card, which doesn't work in an Islamic country. So why should they choose an Islamic country, bhai? They'll never choose an Islamic country.
Thank you so much, Sumit-ji. And that brings us to a close of today's program. Please like, share, and subscribe. And let's take Mahadev's blessing. Thank you, sir.
And I have one request, that please like, share, and subscribe. And we look forward to your patronage and your ashirwad to keep on moving and propelling. I would have spoken more. I thought we had many more questions. So I kind of wound it first. But anyway, not a problem. We had more to think. So on that note, we want to take your leave. Bharat Mata ki jai, Vande Mataram, and Har 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 Mahadev.